match for you today, and we are seeing red. And no, I'm not talking about that awesome Power Rangers episode from like 10 years ago. Instead, it's going to be FaZe Clan versus Native Red. Of course, I'm Golden Boy. This is Walshy here. We're going to talk about some video games. We're going to have some fun. Dave, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good, but both these teams in front of us, also Walshy is misspelled, but even a misspelled Walshy is a little bit
I like
better.
Walshay. That's like Walshay. That's how you have to say. What is this travesty here? Who's better? I mean, I'm the 3-time champion. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, guys, here we go. We're jumping into the action. Solitude King of the Hill is going to be our first map. And we'll see who comes out on top here. I think Clutch said it best. With FaZe, it's going to be hard. You're really climbing uphill here, man. It's going to be so difficult. But Native Red, they could be up to the task. They've done this before. They just need to find that magic that they had in 2022 here.
Yeah, Native Red, they didn't look dominant in any sense against their Na'Vi matchup, but they got one more matchup in front of them, and they know the task that needs to be done. One team goes on to top 4. One team's world run ends right here, right now.
That's right. This is for all the marbles to move on in this competition. Winner moves on. Losers run here at the Halo World Championship comes to an end. Pressure's on for both of these teams. As Frosty's going to get dropped there over towards the loop. And now we'll see what does Snakebite as well as the rest of the field try to do here as they're navigating and just waiting for the opportunity to get into that hill, which they do successfully do.
Yeah,
They
but
just
there's
need to
actually
get
a
a little
little
more.
bit of a tricky position.
It is.
Snakebite has Sniper at tower, and he sees Native Red grabbing time right now. Does he round the corner and try to take out that player himself? Does he go for more control? He is not getting the snipe angles that he would like to get.
And Snakebite being pressured over here by Posters. Wins a big fight against Manny. And he's getting pressured here by Soul Snipe as well. Snipe's going to go down. He's going to go to the Soul Man, but see though how they're going to try and play off of this.
Yeah, I mean, slays are even across the board, but throughout that time, I would argue that FaZe felt like they had more control, they had Sniper, they had better position, yet they're about even in time. So we'll see how that plays out in this next phase of this hill.
I see what you did there, Dave.
You know.
Well played.
I try from time to
That
time.
was good. You're very punny, you know. Royal 2, the top KD player here at Halo World Championship 2023, dominating the leaderboard, but we'll see if he can continue to add on in this game, and I have no doubt about it. A player like Royal 2 certainly will be looking to feast here, but it is going to be all Native Red. They managed to get 3 down. Renegade's going to be the last player left alive, and they're making moves here to try and secure at least a little bit more time in mid.
And they found where Renegade's at. They know the spawns are coming over towards Morgan Cafe. However, FaZe taking a split spawn. Couple players near snipe left, and this is going to be so beneficial here. This is a bit unexpected for Native Red as they were fighting Renegade over towards Market.
FaZe now have managed to get possession of that middle hill. We're going to hear, though, and jump into the comms of FaZe as we get an idea of what their plan is going to be.
Yo, PJ, I'm hitting yard. There was one's gonna spawn out, okay?
One should be yard, right?
Yeah, try to flip to glass, flip to glass.
Nice. Awesome. Nice. Work and kill together. Keep working. Yeah, keep working.
Hill one. I'm gonna go soak. You turn. And in yard.
One inside.
LR, one it.
Nice. Last guy sub.
Snipe in 10 as well.
On me.
Live forever.
I can't.
As far as
I'm going back to blue.
keep watching posters, friend.
That's for one shot. Keep holding. You guys are good.
Yeah, no dust right
The
now.
bottom mid, I think you heard somebody. But just silo. I'm coming.
I'm playing. One shot silo. Nice cap.
Yo, one blue ramp.
Nice. Yo, I'm fucking pushing. He's one at top side, Mini.
No, you turn one.
Wait for the sniper, guys. He's going soda one and shelling. Going U-turn.
I'm looking at Ivy. I'm looking at this one.
Nice, shit up too. I'm going to drive way fast. Probably here.
Snipe me guys.
Can you? I'm going posters. I got it. I'll loop on me, guys. Tell us.
Zed can't be.
Dog one and loop on me. Cut him off for me. Yard on me. Yard and loop, guys. Soda weak coming. Loop sniping. LR on you. Match. Dude, one
Absolute LR.
Loop post. Might have been trust.
One LR. Nice, dude.
LR again.
I'm coming to yard.
I'm pushing to loop. You want to loop? Nice. I'm playing tight. They're on soda on you guys. On soda as well.
They're on this. Should be on this.
Two soda. They're gonna push LR if you did. Yeah, in loop ready. You guys can push it out if you want. Loop weak, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna soak.
Last one.
Nice,
Last
Peach. Nice. One
minute,
minute.
one minute.
Right,
Loop top, loop top.
Another one top gold, I think.
It's someone else.
Yeah, last one soda, guys. Last one soda.
Excellent listening there with FaZe as they managed to get that first point while we were in the listening, and you could just hear how confident Frosty was. He even said, he was like, boys, I'm trying.
I hear these guys also calling out with more excitement than I normally hear. They're a bit more stoic, a bit more reserved, a bit more calm. You hear them treating this like it's the World Championship, like their tournament life is at stake, because it is. You hear them calling out every single one with emphasis. I almost wonder if the comms are getting a little muddled, because when you call out really loud and aggressively like that, that's okay when your team has the lead, when you're trying to hunt down, take out players. But if your team's behind and you're trying to coordinate a very particular push, that can come back to bite you.
Yeah, and you certainly want to try and keep the communication clear there, but hey, if there's one thing that it's working. Regardless, it's still working for them. They've gone so much progress on this driveway hill, and it really feels like Native Red have just been stopped right at the front door. That's going to be 2 points for FaZe.
Yeah, I mean, one question I had going into the series was, FaZe have been on a bit of a break. You know, probably a bit of a bummer as they've had to wait after their last loss. I was wondering if they might come in a little flat, if they might try to go through the motions on this and say, all right,
why
one more series
coming so loudly.
Yeah, and they came in with the intensity that they need for the series. They are going to be tough to beat.
And also, you know, you got to put some respect on Native Red as well. This is a fantastic team, young players with so much talent that have really done a lot and have accomplished a lot in their careers in competitive Halo, just this, you know, last season and this season alone. So you got to put respect on those players' names, which is why you're seeing FaZe just give Native Red everything, because you know that on the other side, Native Red, they're coming just like that, because what's on the line here is your pathway, is your life in this competition.
Yeah, neither of these teams came to this event wanting to walk away 5th/6th, but the reality of this world is that one of these teams is getting knocked out tonight.
Someone's got to lose, and if neither of these teams wants to be on the receiving end of that one, Frosty's trying to do his due diligence up here over toward S4. He's got coverage all over the place as well. You got a few players down low, one at the Prius, one hanging out toward Yard, and another guy getting a little gully over here by posters by himself, looking to make an opportunity to get that sniper out of the hands of Frosty, but does not work out for him. QT's up as well, and Frosty's making those calls. This position's so powerful, man.
Yeah, he's going to be difficult to deal with. Best case scenario, you sneak up behind him, then you jump up, and then he's just going to no-scope melee you. There's really not much you can do there until you get more map control and you get a couple angles that can back him down. For the first time in quite some time, we have a little more control on the map here for Native Red.
All right, but Frosty's still going to be in this overlook position. They're still trying to get him out of here. They've been sending bodies over to handle this problem the entire time. Finally, Suppress is going to be the one to handle that business, though, and he's going to be able to get the double kill to boot. So that QT certainly going to be playing a role here for him, too, because he'll have that push and a free, I guess, bailout if Royal 2 and him go into that fight, but it's not going to happen here, so he's just patrolling the mid.
The other play I like that Native Red did there is while Frosty was sniping, they just opted to grab some time. That sniper's not going to be as big of a factor of taking out the hill player. So they scrapped up a bunch of time. They have about 80% in that hill and not much longer to go to get their first point on the board.
And they do it. Native Red back in this game. But you only have 38 seconds and counting left, and the next hill is going to be a tough one because FaZe have been holding this position for a good chunk of the game, and they've been doing it very effectively.
Yeah, and based on FaZe's early movements right now, they are not stepping in this hill. They are trying to drain this clock. 25 seconds of slaying is FaZe's game plan.
And it's very, very doable. If it was 45 minutes, a minute, you're going to kind of be testing your luck there. But 20 seconds with these players, you should be able to stop this. But Native Red, they're going to try and get in there. Now you got to fight this next round of slays. You got to get these players down, which they managed to get 2. They're looking for the last one here who hit the lip. That's going to be Manny, but Manny's going to get sent to the wall and cleaned up with relative ease, and that is going to be the game. FaZe take map 1.
The slaying game plan worked at the end there flawlessly. FaZe completely in control throughout that game, looking so strong. And also, like the comms, they're sounding fierce.
Yeah, they really are, and this is the kind of energy that you're going to need at 7:45 in the evening on a Saturday. We've been at this bad boy since noon, and it's been a long day for a lot of these players, right? A lot of waiting around, just warming up, shooting, bots and stuff like that, just trying to keep yourself hot for this game. It's very taxing when you actually think about it. But then on the flip side to that, Native Red, they've been through a gauntlet, man. They've been playing so many teams since they, were put to the lower bracket, and it has been a slog for them. So you also have to wonder how they're feeling as well, because that's exhausting, man, and FaZe are hitting.
Yeah, just looking at some of these highlights, it's no surprise as to how FaZe got off to their 2-0 start. Even when Native Red would make an immaculate push together in the right places at the right time, a no-scope, a perfect 5-shot from the Bandit from Frosty, shuts down those pushes immediately.
Yeah. Well executed. FaZe Clan managed to pick up that first map win, 2 more, and they move on to this competition. Native Red has to bounce back. Here's your series layout. You have Slayer Streets, Oddball Recharge. We're gonna go to some Empyrean CTF, and Slayer Aquarius if necessary. And as we get ready for the Streets, let's take a look at this team head to head. And I think, the tale of the tape definitely speaks for itself, but it's also important to note as well that Native Red have been in a bit of a topsy-turvy tumble the last few events, having to replace Druck and then bring in Suppress and then integrate him into their system. But they're here now, playing for a top 4 opportunity. So it can't all be bad, but at some point you got to turn that donut into a breadstick, Native Red. Maybe this could be the day you do it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to turn it around right now. We're taking it on the Streets. First team to 50 kills right here. And it looks like Suppress is going to take over towards that B-rail. Soul Snipe going to grab that Bulldog, get the first kill on that side of the map. And almost certainly should these rockets be grabbed here by Native Red. Frosty, the last member standing here for FaZe.
Talik manages to secure himself the rockets. We'll see what he does with this now. So he manages to shoot one off, get himself some value out of that, but he's just going to wait this one out here toward the arcade. Once this push comes, pop. He's going to destroy one and expect the pressure to start to come in potentially. And there it is from the steps. So they shut him down, and now this gives FaZe a clear pathway to start to make their push, and they'll secure themselves quite a few kills out of that one, as well as the lead. Oh, actually, well, there it is, tie game.
Tie game now, but that was an interesting push from FaZe as they knew Rockets were on that side and just said, hey, send someone in flying right away, make sure we don't clump up. They dispersed, they made the Rocket player use its shot, and then able to clear out the rest of the players on the B side.
Yeah, and in those early days as well, especially with a player tucked away inside of the arcade like that, you don't really have to worry about sacrificing a body in that instance. You just need someone to be willing to make that play happen. And any of these members in FaZe will have no problem doing so. But unfortunately for FaZe, they see 3 members down as Renegade World 2 start to come up here. You got Native Red hanging out in the tram. They do have this lead, and it's going to be a small one, but it's a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, and Soul Snipe spied on the spawns, but also just sniffed out there. These players know each other's tendencies inside and out. They're saying, all right, this person's not going to peek out from balcony. In fact, they'll likely go towards driveway. That's just that next level of strategy, knowing where players are going to retreat to and try to re-engage on the fight.
Snakebite has a job here inside of the ATM as well as the bench. Rockets are going to be coming up in a second. Here comes the push. Rockets are available now. And Snakebite's going to go for the flank. He's going to get the Bulldog barking. Hits one. Looking for another one as well, but can't find it. Teammate there for the pickup? No. Instead, it's actually going to be Talik who manages to secure himself the rockets. Which is quite, again, I got to give credit
second set.
I was going to say, got to give credit to Native Red. That is the second set of rockets that they were able to get. And FaZe were in a position to stop that one.
Now both these rockets are what has been giving this lead here to Native Red. I mean, they've gotten, 3 kills out of the 4 rockets? They only have a 2-kill lead at the moment, so they have to try to extend those leads a little bit further. Renegade just dancing a little bit there against Talik, able to trade out a kill. We'll see if that's the difference maker later on as we get closer to the 45 kill mark.
I didn't know Renegade was taking salsa classes, man. My guy's out there doing the cha-cha-cha. Just jiving, living his life. All right, well, let's see what's going on here with Frosty. It's going to be a 2-kill lead here for Native Red. Still holding on to it. Yeah, every single time FaZe get close, Native Red find opportunities to peel away, and they keep on trading. This is pretty much what we've been seeing all day across all of our teams in these Slayer matches and how close these games have been. I don't think we've had any like real blowouts with these, at least the top 6 teams in this competition. It has been neck and neck the entire day.
Yeah, it's been such close games. Even when a team gets some sort of lead, we've been seeing some miraculous comebacks like we saw with Sentinels.
Massive kill there from Frosty to open up the PD side. Man, he's going to be licking his wounds in the back area of the map here. Has to secure that kill, doesn't give up a teammate. There's going to be someone popping up behind him, though. And I think that's Snow Snipe, as a matter of fact. He's trying to cause some problems in the back line, and he was successful here. Let's see if Frosty can clear him out. Ooh.
Cleared out by Snow Snipe, indeed. We went to a listen earlier with FaZe, hearing how they're coordinating on Solitude King of the Hill. Let's actually go to a Native Red listen and see how they're going to try to tie this series up 1-1.
I cannot help you. 100 trash.
Bottom A.
100, one shot trash. Trash, telling you, front seat, telling you. There's up here.
Go trade. There's
Two guys on rocks. He has him, I think.
Alright, hit that. One about B. Yo, you could look at arcade. Go to arcade, bro.
Yeah, rocks here.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Top 8 on rocks. I just saw him.
I hit that. I'm just sitting.
No, he's tires of rocks.
Alright. He's up. Plants it. In heaven. Plants in heaven. Roll 2 is heaven. He's got purple renegade. One at purple renegade. Ivy stairs. Tire down. Red bar back Ivy. Frosty.
Yeah. Alright, well, you guys want it?
Yeah, okay. Or actually, we can. Yeah,
rocks there.
Yeah,
Back Ivy to back C. Might go commando now.
We're all gonna be chopped. They chopped us here.
Wait, commando guys. I'm a commando guys. Can't help.
No, rock.
One shot commando Brad.
Nice. B-steps walking out front seat. One
Commando
shot.
Brad going driveway.
He's going Ivy steps.
Watch out, tires. Tires.
I spawn A. Yeah,
mid,
Mikey. I spawn cafe, Mikey. C-steps, weak. PJ. One top, maybe one hit.
Guys, tires.
Yeah, cones, plants.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm looking back.
yeah.
Watch out, get dead.
No, watch out, we could keep guys.
Yo, I'm gonna heal guys.
Yeah,
Watch out, yo, P1 guys. P1 guys. One shot. P1. They're going up to cafe.
He said, mom.
One's going to P1.
One shot. Oh, one shot. Shotty window.
We're good.
Behind the junction. Never mind. He went down. Yo, you got B-steps. This guy benches with Shotty.
Alright, yo, I'm playing up purple.
Yeah, two B-steps.
If we can kill these benches, guys. Okay, here.
I'm looking at him.
Yeah, what kind of purple do you make?
Rocks in 20.
Yeah, we just need rocks. There's a guy Frosty. Have shield. This guy could be. This guy close. Let's
Okay,
Can we kill these P1 guys?
Yeah.
And Ivy.
help them.
No, he's with Shotty. I need over there.
Benches or red wall.
Yeah, it could be red wall, guys. What's going on?
No, guys,
Yeah, I
left,
need
left.
benches.
Yo, Piro,
Mike, give me one guys. Two shots.
Oh, man, and you're hearing good comms out of Native Red. The problem is they're not getting the slays, David. In that listening, the lead extended for FaZe by 8.
Yeah, one thing I also noticed is a bit panicked, more reactive call-out, saying where these players are at, and also even going off of old information. Within the last 10 seconds of our listening, they were still saying, hey, there's 2 over here by bench or by C steps. And those players from FaZe, many a time, have rotated on over from B side over towards Neons, or the reverse, over from Neons over towards B stairs. And they're rotations that Native Red aren't catching. And they are still going off of old information.
Yeah, and if you keep on going like that, at the end of the day, you're going to end up with a losing game here. So you got to be mindful of that. You got to have players in positions to be able to stop this. Now, Renegade tried to play his life through that Shroud screen. You got Snakebite playing over here back toward the alley, as well as another one on top of Heaven. There goes Soul Snipe, one shot in the back. Want to try and clear him out here, but an opportunity now has arisen for Native Red to try and see if they can even the odds here. But the problem is it's starting to peel away little by little. Each kill, each trade comes in. FaZe only need 5 more with that kill, and you still have 10. Actually, you have 15 you got to catch up on if you're Native Red. It's a tall order.
Yeah, it's going to be
But
real
it's doable.
tough here.
It's
7
doable.
kill deficit, and FaZe know how to slow it down. One thing that impressed me during that last setup was Royal 2 right here.
Oh, look at
when
some
he was going over towards Heaven, he was laying down so many shots towards the B street, creating an opportunity for his player with rockets to push on over. And look at this sneaky little angle, just eyeing him, giving him the stink eye through the slit.
I respect that. That was actually pretty cool. Suppress has been back here for
You
at
like
least 3
bean
years.
bugging people?
Yeah.
You like-
I do enjoy that quite a bit. So Suppress made a huge play, by the way, because while we were seeing what Royal 2 was doing, he was still back tram, and FaZe were none the wiser. That actually opened up the floodgates here for Native Red to at least half that lead. But now, with these new rockets coming up, this is basically going to be the game here.
Yeah, do or die here for Native Red. FaZe has some more room for error, and Royal 2 and Snakebite picking up a couple kills.
How many balls?
Just like that, even though he gets the rockets, he runs on over to the spawn. That's going to be a 2-0 lead here for FaZe.
I knew the game was ending, but you got to call out a combat evolve when it happens, man. You got to call it out. Wow, great stuff from FaZe. Managing to keep Native Red at arm's distance the entire time. Never really letting them get into the game, get comfortable into the game. And I think also too, Native Red, you're right, Dave, in that listening, I was hearing comms that at the very least they're talking, which is something that we always harp on, is like at least communicate with one another. But you're right, it was really scattered. They felt like at times they were a bit lost in like what they wanted to execute on. And FaZe, once they have that, you running in circles, it's so hard to catch up against them, you know?
Yeah, taking a quick look at the stats. Everyone doing their part on the FaZe side. Renegade +2, Snakebite +3, and +1 for Frosty and Royal 2 each. Just a great team effort, but let's take a look at the damage and see if anyone stands out. And surprise, Renegade not only the most damage, but also the most damage received for the FaZe roster. He was a huge target for that team the entire time, and frustrating. You can see that all those times over the cafe as he's soaking up as much time and damage as possible.
Yeah, my guy was getting shot up all over the place and somehow was managing to live. Call him Harry, unreal. But here goes some of the highlights from that last game. And, you know, I think it's something to say and praise Native Red for their opening strats, the way that they were able to secure a lot of those early rockets. Absolutely massive, right? The thing is, you're making these great plays, but then FaZe are like, okay, cool, get the rockets. You only get like one out of that. We're not going to give you more than what's in the chamber of the rocket launcher the early part of the game.
Yeah, they got the 2 sets of rockets early on and still only kept a 2-kill lead after no longer getting those rockets. They just kind of were dismantled from the second half of this game. I mean, looked at those scores. I want to say it was around 28-28, and all of a sudden, 10-kill lead there later on.
And they managed to try to bring it back, have that lead a little bit. But at that point, when you have those rockets set up, you know those players are going to be, organized around there. It's just really, really hard for Native Red to have to, sacrifice any depth when you literally cannot, and fight for those for the rockets as well. Rough one for them, without a doubt. But that is what FaZe does. They put you in those positions, make you make mistakes, and that's the reason why these players, the players on this team, champions across the board, talent.
Well, taking a look at our game 3, it's Oddball. And here are the 2 all-time leaders on both these rosters. Manny with 111 seconds of ball time per game, and Snakebite with 98.4 seconds per game.
Protect me, Chief. I love that. I love that. But yes, you're going to see these guys be the objective players. And as well, in certain instances, in Snakebite's instance, the play caller, same thing, with Manny as well, just trying to organize the troops, do what they need to do. But it seems like with Native Red and their system and like what they have built as a team, look, let's just not sugarcoat it. This is just going to be really tough for them. I think FaZe are hitting. They're not missing a single shot. It feels as if they're unstoppable, and Native Red need to find a way to stop the unstoppable. Because otherwise, you're going to get steamrolled here, and it's going to be a very quick 3-0 to wrap this day up.
Yeah, they have to do it right here, right now. Their record overall against this roster so far this season, 12 maps in favor of FaZe, 1 map in favor of Native Red. If they're going to do it, they have to do it here.
I mean, the numbers don't lie. And that's what we kind of have to, I guess, really focus on here for Native Red. It's the fact that this FaZe team has been a thorn in Native Red's side for a very long time. And even though Native Red are the type of team that, they're like a sleeper squad. You go up against Optic, they can take a game off of Optic, take a game off of Quadrant, take games off of anyone, because that's the talent that they have on that squad. But with FaZe, it always feels like they hit a brick wall. And I don't know if it's the respect that they have for the players, I know the 4 of them, and as well as because they all respect those FaZe players a lot, or it could just very well be the fact that it's like at this point in FaZe's trajectory as a team, they're a hockey stick, man. They're just shooting straight up,
Yeah, could be a lot of those factors. There happens to be some of those egos or levels of respect that happened in prior titles. Who knows how many times that these guys have played against Frosty and Renegade and some Halo 5-2s, just knowing how nasty those players are and their level of respect, and maybe at some point just almost even conceding, saying, all right, this guy might be a little better than me.
Yeah,
This person might just be a step up.
Well, let's not forget, man, those 4 players on Native Red, we were seeing them all over the place, like early Halo Infinite, obviously, and then, you know, for some of them, even Halo 5. They were the players that were trying to punch their way into the top 8. Now they're firmly in the top 8. Now you're here, Native Red, so you have to establish yourselves. A reverse sweep here would change the landscape of this competition entirely. But you're asking for a damn near miracle from Native Red to have to pull this one off.
Yeah, they want to create another incredible story. Here is their chance.
They can do it.
They need to reverse sweep FaZe Clan right here.
This is going to be tough. Players took a bio break, get themselves a moment of respite. And we were talking about it before with Native Red, man. They've been on that stage forever.
Native Red had
nonstop.
Grueling set after grueling set. Potentially one more, and you know they don't want this to be their last one. Fist bumps around. They are ready to lock it in. And they know they have to get up to a strong start. They've had some solid starts. Now, can they chain it together throughout the course of the entire game?
Yeah.
It's not just good enough to be ahead by a little bit when it hits the 50% mark of the game. They have to power through this entire one. And we're on Recharge Oddball. This one, out of all the Oddball maps, in my opinion, you have to be the most coordinated with your pushes well far in advance because you have to take such long routes if you're going over towards pipes or if you're making a push all the way through control.
Yeah, and that means that those setups are going to be equally as important here if you're going to try and see if you could hold off those very aggressive pushes. And I actually really like that play from Soul Snipe at the break of this one. He was putting his focus onto the plasmas to see if he can get a remote detonation on any player that got a little overzealous on the push. World 2 was wise to that one, though, waited it out. And he's still going to have control here over toward the tower, but they're going to sniff him out and pick him off.
Yeah, picks them off indeed. 2 apiece down for each side. And no one's going to be going for that ball just yet. They're going to be going for slays and control.
There really isn't much more that they can do at this point. Neither team feels all that comfortable at the opening start of this game. The opening gambit, rather, I should say. And oh my, Suppress over in the corner toward the sneaky area, just trying to play his life. And then he ends up finding a player. Oh, hey, I'll give you a few back whacks there. Well played. Frosty now sees the pressure coming over from the other side, but well done by Suppress. And you knew that Frosty was waiting for those players to come up, but Suppress had the timing.
And you know who's close to that ball? The person who had the most ball time for this roster. I saw Manny sliding down there not too long ago, but looks like they opt not to grab that ball. Almost gotta say that's likely a mistake. Looks like maybe they were opting for the grapple play. But now that there's 2 down apiece, Suppressed has a difficult decision. Scrap a few points or go for some control. Decides to drop it, go for a slay against Snakebite.
Yeah, it was going to be a tall order, right? No matter what, he had 2 teammates that died behind him. You knew the pressure was going to be coming from the long haul and gold side, and then on top of that too, you have the elevator spawn as well. So this is a great setup now for FaZe. They're going to see if they can rack up as much time as they possibly can out of this one. As the spawns and some of the players are going to be toward the elevator side of the map, making their way in. Let's see here how they're going to counter this. And actually, it was a push from behind Snakebite.
Yeah, so Snakebite looking for his teammates' screens, trying to see if he can get some more info as to what's going on. Missed that player sliding in. Also, maybe a minor mistake not to grab that grenade. Could have also been worried about that being remote detonated, but just in short, he's not playing just the micro game. In many cases, he's looking at the macro vision of the game, saying, where do I need to be with my teammates? What's the best play I can make at this moment? He's not just solely glued on his screen every millisecond.
And that is what's so impressive about Snakebite as well, is that he's doing that while also putting up wild numbers as well. The man is, you know, just his objective efficiency is out of this world. His slaying when he needs to pops off. Like, the guy can genuinely do it all. So in those instances, you always are like, oh man, you're kind of kicking yourself there, right? Because you gave up, you know, this ball. But I think what helps out with FaZe is that they have the pieces to be able to counter those plays. And that's exactly what happened here. They broke that gold setup, and now they have a pretty ironclad setup here over toward Whirlpool. So this is working out quite effectively for them.
Yeah, 3 down. They know where the last member is, and World 2's going to win that 1v1. Now you got to wonder, are they going for these blocks over at Hydro? No, instead they're backing off, letting them spawn over at the long haul. There's the remote detonation, and that's going to stagger spawns even further.
You got to praise Frosty's proactivity in that situation. He knew he wasn't needed over toward the elevator, and unfortunately gets picked off because of a pesky doorway. But so well executed, and that just continues to lead to more points being racked up here. for FaZe Clan now. Renegade having to deal with a few players toward gold, does the job that he needs to do, takes out at least one of those players, and that's a double kill now for Royal 2, but the ball manages to escape the elevator room.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to play ball that out towards the pit. Royal 2 hunting it down over in the control and bringing it back to the elevator where it belongs.
Yeah, this ball belongs here, and only here. Royal 2's gonna hold this up top elevator now. Pressure's coming in. Talik's gonna have to back away from this one, maybe trying to go for an insta, but he got two players on the outside. One of them's gonna be very weak, so he's easy pickings. There's another one above Snakebite here. He's gonna have to deal with the player in front of him toward the Mangi, pops him off, and now he's gonna look to see if he can, well, he died there, but I was gonna say his teammate was gonna look to see if he can clear up that kill, but instead it doesn't work out. Now, you got FaZe yet again with another camo. I mean, they've been just dominating these power items.
And look at the setup. Every single time they have this ball in elevator, they've been putting this player near the Needler side to watch anyone going across catwalk or going across pit. It watches essentially every single angle on that half, and then that player can also turn around if the ball player sees someone coming over from pipes or battery. It's almost a foolproof setup.
Yeah, that was a great rotation there. The ball, just as you were saying that, Dave, made its way over toward Tower. Who's there to stop him? Oh, Frosty's got himself the shocker. He's gonna look for a few more hits out of that one. Maybe find another. He's got a teammate behind him, but he's gonna get out of dodge, and he does so successfully. Flies to the other side of the map, and with the shock rifle, it's gonna be very hard to break through this from long.
Just like that, Snakebite putting on 69, making 70 points on the board at the end there for round one of Oddball.
They did everything right in that first round. From the elevator setups, the constant power item pickups, it really just immaculate play there from FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe are looking scary good right now. They need one more round of Oddball here to move on to top 4. Now, can Native Red dig deep? Can they find it in themselves to start to win some of these fights, get the slays, get the control they need? But right off the bat, all 4 members go down. Ball grabbed by, who was that? Royal 2?
Yeah, Royal 2.
Even Royal 2's got ball time. You know you're in trouble when that's happening.
Indeed, indeed. Frosty, though, by the way, thinks he's playing Halo 5 over here with his pistol. He's pretty much held it the entire time. Got himself a shock rifle, though. See what he does with this. The good old Frosty setup. You give this kid grapple, man, he will work magic. And you know he's a little frustrated with that one. He's like, man, that was a good grapple.
Yeah, he did. And you saw how he lined it up. You know that's this angle that these players practice saying, all right, how do I make sure I get out here as quick as possible to loop out for when they're basically timing that for when someone throws a grenade.
Yeah.
They want to ideally basically wait a couple seconds, say, all right, I think it's happening now. Grapple out and try to, try to swing through that window.
Fortunately for him, could not break through, but for his team, well, kind of happy with that because you're able to pick up at least 30 points here. With 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. We'll refrain from making a comment. Wow, big shot there from Soul Snipe, but he's going to miss that one. Suppress gets a double kill off screen, trying to open things up. The ball gets played, yeah.
But they weren't in position to get the play ball. This is tough. I mean, Soul Snipe no longer has any grapple, so can't do it in a safe position. Now fighting a one-on-one in pipes. Notice how FaZe played that. They brought Valve towards back Hydro. As soon as they received too much pressure back there, they play ball, and then they put people into small corridors.
Yeah.
Not out in the center of the map where they can get double teamed or triple teamed. Small corridors where they're going to fight 1v1s, and that's what they found. They found a 1v1 in pipes and successfully got that fight when they were down in numbers.
Yeah, and if you give FaZe that opportunity to isolate those fights, with these 4 players, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be really tough to win that battle, especially with the way that Frosty and Renegade are hitting.
That 10th one, that was super easy. That 10th one's always a doozy. But Frosty just double melee there on Talik. Still has his camo. No rush here from the FaZe side. Just pinging, getting all this information, knowing that's too good to be true here. Just look at that understanding of the spawn system.
You just can't expect to win a game if you're not getting control of any of the power items. This would be, I think, the 4th grab for FaZe in this game, and it's just so difficult for Native Red to have to fight against this, but FaZe's setups have just been perfection.
Look at this, just taking their time, getting multiple kills back to back, forcing someone just to jump down to triple stacks. That player's not going to be effective for 10 seconds. They either have to run through tunnel or take a jump through double stacks. It's going to be while Suppressed is in a strong position again. So these players from FaZe just delaying them anytime they have the ball. just playing everything perfectly. This is so difficult to beat.
Yeah, well, now it's going to be Native Red's turn to strike here. Let's see if they can add a little bit more to the scoreboard, but a big play there for Snakebite, and the ball carrier is going to be by himself. It's Suppress, trying to just hightail this ball out of there, get it to his teammates as fast as he possibly can. Manny's going to be there to receive him, so he can get away from this, and they got the cover from the tower. So, at the very least, they were watching each other's backs there.
Yeah, they went over and watched help, but I gotta wonder, you have to clear the path in front where Renegade is over at the sneaky ledge. Generally, when you're rotating the ball towards direction, you don't want to bring somebody back towards the ball. Instead, you want someone to clear that forward path. So as the ball's rotating towards gold and long haul, have the player go towards long haul and towards C plat to make sure that's clear. So you have the, you have some clear runway.
Yeah, it's just, pretty much your protocols there, right? Just ensuring that no one is going to be in that area, no spawners, no sneakiness, no shenanigans. And that is, even with that, though, it has been impressive to see Native Red manage to claw their way back into this game, because they're here now. They're at 35 points, and I knew that this team wasn't just going to keel over and die. They were going to have some fight in them, but they got to keep this going here because they got their first power item. And look at that. They get camo, and they start racking some points. Who would have thought if you control the map, you actually can win this one? Native Red's on a good path here.
And look at this spot
Nice
now where all these
info.
players are at. Great movement there, getting the back smack on to Snakebite. Now what's his next move? No more camo, knows Renegade's over here in long haul, and wisely backs down as he's down in damage.
Dude, the way that Suppress took that corner, he was not sure where he was going to be, but the call was made immediately, and Renegade was just waiting in place. So no matter what happened, if Suppress came through there, it was always going to be a tough one for him to try and break through. And with this player hiding around, it just makes life so challenging, but they do manage to take him out. Suppress gets his revenge, but they have to move now. They got to get this ball out of the FaZe hands.
A rare miss there from Frosty, not able to get that finish with the BR on that player. Talik now has the shock rifle. Let's see if he can do anything with it. 15 points away here for Native Red to tie up this round number 2. And that's just to get them in a tie position to go into round 3.
Yep. That's what they're playing for here. Not to win the game, just to stay alive in the matchup. Talik's waiting for anyone to come across. You got Frosty on the flank, and I don't think they're wise to it. Frosty's putting pressure from behind. The nade pops. Talik gets dropped by Frosty on that flank, and now we're right back where we started here. If you are Native Red, where you're just watching a blue player carry the ball away from you.
And this is tough. I mean, they weren't able to really play that ball out towards the center. If you're going to try and play the ball there, you almost want to toss it all the way towards the pit, really make it a nuisance there, but FaZe just had too much control on the map. Somehow, Native Red comes back right away, though. They got 3 kills. Snakebite somehow able to snag the camo. Snipped out there by Manny. Snakebite not going to live, and ball time being acquired by Native Red. We now got ourselves a tie game.
That is massive. I wanted to see this team dig deep, and they did just that. Renegade trying to stay alive there, but it's going to be a all for nothing there as he's wiped out immediately. Ball's being held quite comfortably by Native Red. They're just going to continue to secure this, Dave.
Yeah, just holding the pipes. They had 2 options, whether they're going to rotate it over to
Hit him with
towards
the needle.
elevator or hold pipes. 2 seconds, 1 second, soul snipe. Gets round number 2 here for Native Red. We're going to round 3, GB.
We got ourselves a game here on Oddball. Native Red fight back. But now, well, they have to finish it up. They have to close it out here and try and do so in a manner that you feel rather comfortable with, because you got a long series ahead of you. You win this one, you got to win 2 more.
We're seeing a better start this time. Previously, we saw so many members of Native Red, all 4 drop in round number 2. Not quite the case there in this round 3. 3 down, Renegade the last one standing. You got to wonder, where's Suppress going to help here? He needs to get in position to either help the ball or support this camo player.
Well, Camo
And this
does manage to
camo
get
is
away.
getting hunted.
Yeah, they're trying to find him. Renegade wasn't sure where those shots were coming from.
Look at that. Camo can't come up from back high ground being spotted these days. What is 2023 Halo Infinite?
Yeah, I hate to see it, kids. I truly do. Does feel as if Native Red have, I would say woken up, yeah, in this series, right? They have started to find their shots, feeling a little comfortable. Again, let's not forget, Native Red's been on that stage for a while now. It's an exhausting thing to play. Halo is the type of game, a lot of people may not think about it, but Halo is the type of game that your brain is just moving a mile a minute. There's so much going on at any given point in time. It's exhausting.
Just as we saw those kills unfold, 4 members of Native Red down. Ball over in the hands of FaZe, pushing towards elevators. This is that double-edged setup that I've talked about before. double-edged sword here. If you're not able to get this play ball out of elevator, the other team can take this setup and run with it. Looks like FaZe are going to try to take over control, get a different angle here, but Talik and crew getting all the slaves they needed. Renegade, last one down. This is now going to be an elevator setup here for Native Red. The ball did not get played just as I feared. They know spawns are going to be long haul and C plat. How do they react?
As well as that camo coming up, I think Taulik getting that kill against Frosty was a huge plus. They're going to rack up this, these points. You got a camo up now. Anyone in a position to grab it? It seems like it's going to be Royal 2, but he's getting challenged by Suppress. And that fight's a big one here for Royal 2. He's got to win this one, but he gets away, pops the camo, so at the very least keeps it out of the hands of his opponent.
And Soul Snipe dies with the ball in the elevator. Also, not a play ball from his side. That was just a really tumultuous time and fight there. I think there was a lot of uncertainty on where you could push it or where you could go. And Soul Snipe just decided to stay at elevator when, in many cases like that, that might be a time to push it on over towards pipes.
World 2's trying to get a good position here to help out. He does find one in the tower now. You got one player, two players as a matter of fact. There goes the play ball. Get it out of the elevator room. Man, he's gonna be so weak, and you got that last guy down toward the elevator, bottom elevator, gets picked off. So with the ball being played, two players down, 4-3, scratch that for Native Red. You know exactly where those players are gonna be coming from. They're prepared for it.
Yeah, look at this. Royal 2 watching over towards this cross angle, towards long haul. He notices that his teammate Frosty's over there. No longer needs to watch the angle and knows that the pressure's coming in from close. It's coming from control. But look at the difference here from FaZe. Once they realize that the pressure's coming from control, they rotate the ball over towards pipes. That's exactly what Native Red should have done last time.
Yeah, it's just smart plays from FaZe Clan. Let's go ahead and jump to the comms and hear how they're doing.
Three turn right.
Yeah, slay. Just literally sit in the pipes and just slay.
Yeah, they're weak as shit. One shot turn right.
Game on 30.
Two more PJ.
Alright, just keep going.
Yo, suppress.
I have nades. They can't push.
Game on 20.
I got more.
Guys, one C.
He killed me. Two apple.
Five nades, PJ. They can't push.
Here.
Cam 115, guys. I opened up glass ones. Top AK, one it.
AK1.
Two top AK, one it.
Keep holding it, PJ. I'm gonna look around.
Cam 1 10, guys. Talk one it. One in hell.
We just got shot.
One's out. Cam 1 5.
He's gonna kill me.
Come by,
I just missed on him really bad.
Holy shit, John.
Come on, guys. I'm pushing this.
We're sliding.
One man, another turbo.
He has camo.
I'm looking down. That guy.
He's one trap bottom.
Dead. I'm going for ball.
He spawned A.
Third up.
Hey, can we pinch A, Matt?
Hey, I'm gonna die.
Matthew might be dying.
Hey, I'm trying to help you, Matt. I'm trying to get to you as I can, bro.
I see Turban.
Yeah,
shots down there.
Heaven.
Keep shooting down. Yo, PJ, they love red steps. They love red steps. Yeah, I'm fucking bunkering it. I'm bunkering it. The other one's on it. Actually, he's weak.
That ball's moving. PJ could die here.
Two more.
Glass. One glass.
Nice hold, John.
One hit.
Shit on. One more top gold. You got glass.
Hey.
Trying to kill me single.
He's two hits going bottom mid.
Okay.
He's in grapple spawn, one it.
This one here, I think we had maybe an observer thing, but don't worry about it. We're back in the game, so we'll go ahead and keep our eyes on this one here. But one thing that we can't pull away from that, we can't extract from that, Dave, is that it's very clear, the game plan of FaZe. Get that ball, go over to elevator, just try and yank it over there as much as they possibly can and just force Native Red to just go right into their BRs.
And also listen to those call-outs, how well they're controlling spawns. You even heard one time where Frosty left top gold and went towards long haul, said, glass no longer blocked, meaning that there's a chance that those players could spawn over near glass with how much pressure he was putting on towards Hydro.
Yeah.
So they're keeping tabs on any time the opposing team could get a tricky spawn behind them at pipes or wherever.
This is it. 82 points to 23. FaZe Clan on the prowl and potentially eliminating Native Red, which is something that I did not expect to see happen here. See FaZe in this situation. But after that last op, the game, it was damn near incredible from what we saw from both of those teams. But someone had to hold the L on that one. We'll see, though, how this ends up playing out, whether or not Native Red can try and claw their way back into this. You have a minute left to do this. And as it stands right now, it just feels like FaZe have eyes all over the map, man.
FaZe is going in slay mode right now, which is a safe play. Force Native Red to make a good ball grab and a rotation. They have yet to properly do that back-to-back times, and right here, every single time they get some slays, they're delaying that clock even further.
Now, of course, you're looking at the perspective of Royal 2 here. You could See that little arrow there on the side. Apologies for that, though, but the game continues to tick on down. 35 seconds and counting, and you're right, Dave. They're not going to necessarily go for that ball if they don't need to. They are perfectly fine allowing this to just trickle on down because they have the lead, and it's a big lead, and they have all the angles on the map covered here.
Yeah, 20 seconds remaining. Not only do Native Red need to grab the ball, they need to get all the kills, and they need to hold a setup. I do not see this happening, especially with Manny and Snow Snipe down. What can Suppress and Tolic do right here? Tolic tries his best in the pipes.
They got to do
Soul
it now.
Snipe, everything's up to him right now, and that's all 4 down. And that's going to be Native Red being knocked out of the tournament here at the Halo World Championship. FaZe moving on.
FaZe needed a dominant win after that loss against Optic Gaming to establish themselves, let everyone know that FaZe is here to play, and boy howdy, they did it. That was clinical. They crushed them from the start all the way till the end. It felt like Native Red constantly playing from behind, and FaZe were in full control the entire time, Walshy.
Yeah, to do that against a squad that's as impressive as Native Red, that is a tall order.
Yeah.
FaZe looking absolutely scary. We're gonna have to see them bring that same action in here tomorrow at Championship Sunday.
And I have no doubt that they will, because they are, they are going to go into the lab, correct the problems, and be ready for these matchups. Be ready for the gauntlet that is going to be Championship Sunday. Here are the stats. Renegade, you were hearing it in the comms not listening. They were praising him so much for what he was doing, the way that he was putting himself in those situations to extract as much value as he could. Renegade really was a playmaker in that game, and everyone else just knew that he was popping off, so they played around that, supported him. So many great heads-up plays by him. If he keeps playing like that, man, it's going to be really dangerous for everyone else in the field tomorrow.
Yeah, and looking at the damage dealt, Suppressed, 10,100, doing so much damage across the board in that game number 3.
And here you have it. 2-1, 50-43, and another 2-1. When I look at the series layout, yeah, they were hotly contested games, but FaZe were very much in control for a good portion of those maps, right? And it really just relied on heroics from Native Red to get back into it. So for FaZe to have that level of control at this point of the competition is quite horrifying for everyone else. And if anything, it's just going to make it that much more exciting for Championship Sunday tomorrow. But that's going to do it for myself as well as Walshy. Always a pleasure, my man. We're going to send it back over to Lottie and the rest of the crew to break it all down.